Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, and this is Daily Flash. Welcome everybody. We have got a great show set up for you. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk, and the whole crew is ready to rock and roll for you, including Sweet Baby James in the Daily Flash back room. What's up? And what are people talking about there, Bubba?
Hey man, they're talking about our question of the day,
Okay.
and I'm telling you, it's a great one. Now, listen up. Name a movie where the villain won.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I got a TV show, I think, Breaking Bad, but you never thought of him as the villain.
That's
No,
true.
Skyler was.
But Skyler was, true.
Skyler was the villain.
The antagonist of that.
But a movie,
It's a good one.
I feel like
Which one?
Mission Impossible is one that I thought of, but I think it ends. It's
right.
a two-parter, so it ends with the villain kind of winning. But
Richie
then,
Valens' brother. That's all,
Yeah.
Every time I say the guy, that's all I think is Richie Valens' brother from La Bamba.
Right.
I got a good
What's
one
yours,
for
man?
you guys. That Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars. Remember,
Oh.
that's when Palpatine
Oh, yeah, okay.
executed
The whole
Order
movie tells
66.
it.
Okay.
He took over.
Makes complete sense. Yeah. Okay, that's our question of the day, and of course, Matt Doolittle will tell you how to tell us.
You
what
can
your
do. You can
favorite
go to our
villain is.
website, and you can send us your response at flash@dailyflashshow.com. You also put your response on our social medias, which you can find on there. Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you comment on there. We like talking to y'all. My pick is 7, because he ends up winning at the
Oh,
end.
7, great.
Yeah.
That's
What's
an
in the
excellent
box?
one. Yeah,
What's in the box?
that's a good one.
He just breaks everybody down. And Kevin Spacey, why did you have to do things? You were so good and stuff.
He was.
He was. He's gonna make a comeback. I feel.
Everybody, Hollywood
always do.
has.
They eat
memory
you up,
loss.
spit you out, and then they bring you back up.
It's like, oh, well, and then you're a triumph story.
Yeah,
Good.
exactly.
He can finish the last season of House of Cards finally for me and make it good. 'Cause
Yeah, that one's over. I think. I
Yeah.
feel like that one's jumped the shark.
It turned
a little bit.
into Robin Penn's show afterwards.
It did,
didn't
and it just never had the
Yeah.
same vibe, right? Okay, so a guy in India, get this, he's about 74 years old, right? He decides he's going to fake his own death. Okay, he goes forward with the whole thing. He gets himself in the coffin. The reason he wants to do this is because he wants to see how many people will turn up for his funeral and who will turn up. Apparently, the guy's a bit of a local celebrity. He's done a lot for the community, but he wanted to see who was appreciative of him, right? So the dad of 2 fakes his death. As they're walking his casket toward the crematorium, he gets up out of the casket, and the crowd, of course, has a complete meltdown. They're like, what is going on,
should,
right?
yes.
Yeah, and he's like, I just wanted to see who all would show up for my funeral. I'm like, what are you? Who does that?
That's narcissist.
Ego.
That's the first quality I think is like
100%.
I want everybody to see. First off, I want a big crowd, and he's probably expecting it, so
Yes.
everybody here can see how important I am. And if you need that, there's something you need that.
Yes.
That's therapy, man. I'm telling you,
Agreed.
if you have to have that kind of acceptance of how many people like you or willing to show up, I can get it, interesting. But there's other ways of doing it than playing on people's emotions.
I think he was able to get away with it. It's a smaller town. He'd done a lot of donations for the community. I even think he donated money to build the crematorium in the town. But there was a guy in Brazil that did the same thing, and he's been ostracized because, like,
Shit, okay.
why
Yeah,
in the world
it's,
are you doing
I
this?
saw Kenny Powers do it on HBO once. I mean, but that was
Right.
that was fake.
but
But
I
everybody
think-
thinks about that too. You're like, who's gonna show up?
Did they
Like,
want to do another series or something? Another season? Rather?
Yeah, he wanted to do it. Yeah.
That's what I understand. By the way, and I say how disappointed I was when I thought I was getting ice cream at a crematorium. Doesn't it sound like it's a place where they make ice cream?
Oh, a crematorium.
What if like something happened, because that's where you get cremated. What if something happened and they put him in there?
What
and
if
he's
for
still
whatever
alive?
reason he passed out while he was in the
That's
casket,
what I
and then they
say.
just dumped him in the burner, and that was it? I mean, joke's on you?
Yeah, that exactly. And again,
Yeah.
I think it's all about acceptance, and and that's why we have social media, and
Yeah.
we need the acceptance from others, and that's human nature. I get that.
Yeah.
But it seems like when you take it to that level where you're going to plan a death so you can see who shows up, really shows you that you don't have really a grip on what you are or who you are.
No, and the fact that like he's a father of two, like what were his
And
kids
then his kid-
thinking?
yeah, that's a
you
good
know,
point, too.
I mean, It's very strange, but very selfish to kind of think of like, well, who's going to show up? Who really loves me? Who cares?
Who cares?
Come on,
Yeah,
you're dead.
When I'm dead, I'm dead. Yeah.
You're dead, exactly. Another thing that caught my eye, and we've talked about this briefly, we actually touched on it a little bit in a show yesterday, is moving from that to technology. The robotic vacuums.
Okay, yeah. So I have one of the. You have an
I have one too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And first off, one thing I love about it is like right now I can turn it on and
Yes.
vacuum.
Isn't it great?
And it has like the map of my house.
Yeah.
Literally, it makes a complete map, and I look at it and I just press a room, and the thing will go there. And yours has like a camera on it.
So
right?
mine has a camera on it. So not only does it map your entire house, but it also has a camera on it.
Which scares me, man. I don't know if I could do that.
And what's interesting is, and the camera also has audio. So yes,
No.
which is very concerning. So initially they say, if you don't want to use the camera function, make sure you turn it off. Oh, hell yeah, I'm turning that thing off. So not only would they have a map of my entire house, but if for whatever reason I didn't understand how to turn the camera function off or just didn't think of it, then somebody could basically see inside my entire house and listen to conversations. Just like, I don't think people take technology as seriously.
We're getting too used to it, aren't we?
Yeah,
I think that what you don't, and I got thinking about this with Sora, which I'll explain in just a second. But why does my app, when I say, all right, here's the vacuum, I register the vacuum, it wants my home address.
See, that's
why would it even need my home address? I mean, like, it doesn't matter, it's in a house, but what difference does it make that you have my home address? So, and think of that, and then when you start talking about that, somebody hacks into the vacuum maker's website. They have this data for.
Sure.
Now they have my address. They know how my house is laid out. They know the in and out the floor plan.
Yep.
They know where I sleep. And if it has camera audio, they can hack into that and see it and that sort of thing. And I think we're forgetting about that.
Yes, we are.
When I talk about Sora, which is fun as heck, if you're on Sora, make some videos with Jackson and I.
Yes,
I'm Mitch
please.
English, you're A Jackson TV.
Yeah.
But it's free. And I got thinking about this the other day. It's like, wait a minute. If what is the
cost?
The cost. If it's free,
Your image.
You are the product.
Yeah.
That's when they do the valuations of the tech companies. The most valuable thing they have is your data.
Yeah.
It's not the products. It's not the advertising. It's the fact that companies will buy the data from Facebook to go sell you stuff.
But so you talk about now with Sora, you're giving them your image and your voice.
Yeah. That's why I didn't want to sign up for it. When it asked me to read the numbers and do, I was like, I'm not doing.
Yeah, but they make cool videos.
It's fun videos. But that to me, who will sign up for everything. I do have TikTok, but I don't post anything.
There you go. Okay, but even still, in the EULA of TikTok, it says they are allowed to get in your phone and turn on your microphone.
All right, James has a few thoughts on this. James.
I just want everybody to know, as a person that's in that world, that when it comes to your data, it is not very specific to you. It's more demographic stuff. And they have to, because of privacy concerns, they have to get your permission in order to go.
How much are they paying you to say that, James?
Well, pretty soon a lot, because every app is a kind of like a data mine. And what people really don't realize, a lot of the apps are now little banks. So,
but
you got to spend money, especially like Starbucks and stuff. You leave money on the card, they're making interest off that money.
All right, that's fair.
And they also know that if you have a card, you only have a few dollars left, that you're going to wind up renewing it.
Yeah.
I love it when it says, congratulations, you've renewed your card. I'm like, yeah, I know, great. Congratulations to you.
I think when it comes, though, to the image and apps like Sora and technology, they may say they can't hack your privacy, but if they have access to your voice and your image, they can do anything with it, because in the fine print, who knows what we've agreed to.
Yeah, so we're on Sora, like I said. We've given them pretty much my entire career, right? Like, like we are a product. I mean, not to say we're above anybody or whatever, but so we're saying this is what we look like, this is how we talk. And if they have they can go, well, you gave us permission to do,
we gave you license to make these fun videos, and in exchange, we're going to use, or we may use your image and likeness somewhere down the line, or someone will have access to it.
So overall, what we're talking about is, just how much information that we continue to hand out, not even thinking about anything at all. And there's got to be a limit to it. And it seems like if you want to make $1 billion or whatever, it's make an app that says you press one button and it takes you off of all of that stuff,
Right.
or hides it or something like that.
But think about it.
hard.
Your coffee machine, your refrigerator, your washer and dryer, your dish, every appliance now, it seems like, comes with that kind of technology that can peer into your home at any given time.
So going back to landlines, is it a good idea?
I like it.
We're
now
going to
that
be talking about
it.
that. We want to hear your thoughts. Are you concerned?
Yes.
What do you do? What don't you do to make sure that your personal information is not out there? We also have later this hour, LLS.
Yeah, the best advent calendars for the year.
Oh, it's that
These
time
are
of
fun.
year.
Yeah.
KSA Entertainment is dedicated to uplifting the communities we serve. Through KSA Cares, we're bringing awareness to the causes that matter most, supporting those who work tirelessly to make a difference. From honoring veterans to championing environmental responsibility, KSA Cares is committed to inspiring positive change. At KSA Entertainment, we're here for the stories that bring us closer. Innovate with us. We can make a difference.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Mitch English. Listen, we've all heard about the generation gap at work, but there's a new report out that says it's actually bigger than we actually think. So joining us now to talk about it is Sarah Needleman. She's leadership and workplace correspondent with Business Insider. Hello there, Sarah.
Hi.
So glad to have you here. This is something that I guess has shocked a lot of people. After you wrote this story, what do you think that it actually is that is driving the Gen Z manager values gap wider and wider?
I think a lot of it has to do with the way we are raised. So younger generations grew up at a time where there's been mass shootings, there's been a real political division, the pandemic. All of these things are shaping the way young folks, Gen Z, thinks about life and the workplace and how they want to spend their time and what matters to them. And that's different for older generations who didn't grow up with those things. Gen Z is also seeing a lot of their parents being laid off right now or struggling financially, and that's just really shaping their thought process.
It makes a lot of sense, and those specific things. I'm glad you had mentioned that about the fact that they're seeing what's happening in this workplace. Their priorities is not only that, like what they're seeing. Is there any other thing that's kind of driving why their priorities differ so much?
I think a lot of it is what I said earlier, that just the way they grew up and the way they're seeing things right now. But also to some extent, there's the AI boom that's shaping their thoughts too. And we're all dealing with that. But they're thinking about it probably from a different lens because they're not as experienced as other folks, and so it may give them a little bit more pause or concern. Yeah. Maybe they spend their entire college career studying something that now that they're in the workplace doesn't hold as much weight as at least as they thought it would, and so they're feeling very frustrated. And it's just normal. Like our values change based on what we 100%. See and going on in life. It's just different from boomers to Zoomers.
Yeah, we were talking about
everything in between.
We were talking about how it seems like it skips a generation. If something happens and it goes 180 and then it goes 180 again. But that tells us as companies, or the companies that are out there, they need to learn how to better connect with Gen Z. How do they do that?
Well, I think both Gen Z and employers need to communicate better. Sure. I think the problem is there's misconceptions. Old generations think Gen Z is lazy and entitled, but that is not necessarily true at all. And then young folks may think, older people are all they care about is work. It's work, work, work. They have no life outside of work, and but they know that from their experience. They've seen things. They've seen results, and so they think the older folks think their experience is right. And I suggest it's probably a little bit of both. They both have valid reasons for feeling the way they do, and perhaps if they communicated more and openly and honestly about those differences, they might be able to bridge the gap a little bit better. Okay,
maybe you can help me this just as a side bar here, but if the music is too loud, are you really too old? I'm just kidding. All right, let's talk about hiring managers, because they're the first one. They're the ones that are bringing the Gen Z and anybody else into the workplace. How can they adapt, and what can they do?
A lot of it is communicating what their expectations are. So in this story, I had an example where a professor talked about a student who got a job, and 3 months into the job, he thought he was doing so well that he deserved a raise. And older generations might say to themselves, gee, 3 months, that's not very long.
Yeah.
I would never expect that. But this person, it wasn't that he was entitled. He just didn't know any better. And so I think older folks sometimes take for granted their years of experience and don't realize that young folks don't necessarily know these things. And so if they just said on day one, if you're wondering what it takes to get promoted, you're going to have to do A, B, C, and D, and it will have to happen over this amount of time. That might help both parties communicate better have understanding of what to expect of each other. And so we can't really assume that somebody knows something just because we've been doing it all our lives. And that's just a lesson managers have to learn.
There's so many years that we've, as older people, forgot that we were naive, young, and stupid, and that sort of thing. We have to remember, hey, we were young too at one time, and in the tenacity for it as well. Hey, this is interesting. Thank you for writing this article, and of course, you want to check it out. Go to businessinsider.com. We'll also have this interview on our website.
Okay, now to some trending stories. Late night host Jimmy Kimmel says he would be open to inviting President Trump on his late night show. Kimmel was part of a Bloomberg panel when he was jammed up about why he rarely invites Republicans on his show. When he was asked if he would invite President Trump, he said reluctantly, would love to have him on as a guest. Kimmel was yanked off the air after the 57-year-old host made false statements about Charlie Kirk's assassin having ties to the MAGA movement. I'm guessing if Jimmy Kimmel did this, it would be huge ratings for his show, which is interesting because after he returned to the air, his numbers dropped off, but what was it, 87%?
Pretty significant. Okay, and then let's flip the coin here. Help me out.
Greg Gutfeld.
So you knew what I was talking about. I love you for that.
Yeah.
When he was on Fallon, best numbers they've seen in a year. Numbers. So, you can say what you want, and it doesn't matter what side of the political fence you are. There is an audience that follows that.
Yeah.
And you can, if you're too left and you're not seeing that, look, there's going to be numbers here if we bring that person, kind of move away from that and really try to figure out, hey, how can we have a good conversation about that? Nevertheless, he would have a huge ratings.
I always go back to what Michael Jordan said. He's like, even Republicans buy tennis shoes.
Buy tennis shoes, yeah.
And it's the same thing. When you've got a country that's divided 50-50, why wouldn't you want to appeal to both sides?
That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
More Daily Flash right after this. Indeed, it is time for us to jump on the bright side. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of, Bright Side. It's a few positive stories and seeing the positive side of the news, if not the bright side. We start off with this great story. Natalie Grabo, she's from New Jersey. She became the oldest female athlete to finish the grueling Ironman World Championship. Cool, right? She's 80 years old.
No way.
Proving once again it's never too late to chase a big dream. The former software engineer only learned to swim in her late 50s and then took up triathlons after an injury sidelined her from running. She completed the 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile bike, and a 26.2-mile run in Hawaii, just over 16 hours and 45 minutes. Her finish shattered the previous age group record and became a global story of not only grit, passion, and reinvention, and also, wow, how motivating is that? Now I gotta go do it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel fat and lazy right now after that story. Here's a good one. A high school girls volleyball team in Texas surprised their custodian with a brand new car. It's a pay it forward celebration of kindness. The team learned the janitor often stayed late, didn't have reliable transportation. So they set up a fundraiser and local business stepped in to help out. On the surprise reveal day, he was called outside and found a crowd of 100 people cheering as they revealed his new car. It's a powerful reminder that small acts of kindness and community can make a huge difference.
100% agree, and once again, showing you team spirit there, right? All right, finally, your last bright side story takes us to Illinois. Yep. They just passed a new law requiring public schools to offer free mental health screenings once a year for students from grades 3 to 12.
Okay, it's considered a major step in youth wellness. The screenings are modeled after vision and hearing tests. They aim to identify signs of mental health stress before crisis, and the move comes after advocacy from a 17-year-old student who experienced a mental breakdown and needed the help. Early intervention like this could reduce the stigma of mental illness and help kids get support when it matters most.
And it's all depending on the time and, of course, the success of this program. It actually could be a blueprint for other schools nationwide. Teachers say that these screenings help students open doors for meaningful conversations, and once again showing you how powerful and how important our teachers are, because they see your kids more than you probably do, and if they see an issue, they're contacting. I know this from personal experience. Maybe something's going on. They are the ones that are going to be able to see that, and teachers, we can't thank you enough.
Yeah, and hopefully the stigma of mental health and mental wellness will be alleviated.
100% agree.
With the stuff like this. All right, let's check in with Matt. He's in the flashback room. He's got some good news about our furry friends.
Thank you there, guys. Yeah, definitely some good furry friend stories here. Well, a group of polar bears have taken over an abandoned Soviet-era research station on Kolyucha Island in Russia's Chikhy Sea. You can see them wandering through derelict buildings and peering through broken windows. The station was deserted back in the early 1990s after the collapse of the Soviet Union. It now serves as an unexpected wildlife sanctuary, illustrating how Arctic animals are reclaiming human-made environments, making it their habitat place. And you know, we're going into their area and they got to find somewhere to go, so they might as well take our old stuff, right? Well, your next story is one today where it shows that the compassion people have for animals, and it never gives up hope for humanity. A Ventura County firefighter rescued a small French bulldog stranded on debris in rising floodwaters. The hero moment happened during a rare October storm in Southern California, where they received a ton of rain in a short amount of time. The 3-year-old Frenchie is safe and recovering at a local animal shelter, but she had no ID tag or microchip. Ventura County says she will be available for adoption soon if her owners don't come forward. So, I mean, just a great story there, and such a cute little puppy. It's got to be somebody. There's no way that dog is not somebody's
French bulldog?
I was just about to say that. A French bulldog, that is going to find a home, and hopefully they'll carefully screen it because they are such wanted dogs, right?
I can't believe that there was no ID tag or microchip. That surprises me.
If you own an animal anymore, please. I mean, we went through this incident a couple months ago. Get them microchipped, or else you just don't know where they're going to end up.
Yes, and Matt, we're so thankful that we microchipped you. And
yes. Oh, you guys need that. I wander off all the time.
All
the
the time.
Mitch.
That's what.
We both got chipped that one time.
We send him back to his room back there, and he gets lost sometime. Maddie, good stuff there. Really appreciate it. Let's jump into some trending news stories out there. It looks like fans of Taylor Swift have actually mistaken Kelly Thrasher for the global icon for more than a decade. The 41-year-old lookalike has been making appearances as Swift since June of 2024, charging up to $600 an hour.
Wow.
I don't see it. This time around, she's already fully booked, having already turned down plenty of invites following the release of Taylor's new album. She says that it was Bruno Mars who inspired her to go into the lookalike business after meeting him at a restaurant and telling her she should take advantage that she has a resemblance to Swift.
Okay, well, I suppose.
You got to make a buck, right?
You got to make a buck.
If
she can do it, she can sell it. I suppose so.
When it happens all the time. You look like somebody. Who is it?
Yeah.
I look like
that guy on TV.
That guy on TV, right? More Flash coming up after this.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. Mitch English.
Yes, he is. I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash. Today's trends, tomorrow's talk. How about that?
Love having you
Give
here.
a big shout out to one of our local affiliates, Matt Doolittle. Good morning.
Yes, one of our 219 affiliates across the country and included on the Armed Forces Network, which is all around the world. Just head to our website, dailyflashshow.com. Click where to watch, and you can find out where to tell your friends and family where to watch. Today, we are shouting out WBUP Marquette, Michigan, which was featured in the film Anatomy of a Murder with Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart, you say?
Yes. It's one of the most famous things they're known for. Jimmy Stewart movie.
Marquette, Michigan.
Way up there north, too.
In the UP?
Up in the UP. Yep.
Okay, all right, very good.
So you can't use the hand on that.
Can't use it.
All right. Very nice. All right, well, we're going to stay up north. We're going to go a little further to the east and head up into Boston, where a restaurant there, they open it up. And they wanted to kind of pay tribute to kind of like the history of the area and history of the actual restaurant,
Okay.
right? So the owner, he starts this, basically a restaurant, and he goes, well, we got some decor. Make it feel, like it's local. And so the guy thought it would be a great idea to put Whitey Bulger, pictures of Whitey Bulger up on the wall because he's from the area.
Does he know why he's from the area?
Yes, and matter of fact, he says, listen, he wants to celebrate the area, good or bad, and also there was a mob hit inside that restaurant a long time ago, and so that's part of the history.
Oh, so he's embracing the whole thing.
That's what he's saying.
Okay.
However, he's also kind of giving celebrity status to Whitey Bulger.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with him,
Johnny Depp, white.
He did a movie
Yes.
about him,
Yeah.
anyway, and the name of the film is
Black Mass.
Black
Black
Mass.
Mass.
Thank you. His name is Whitey, and that's what threw us off. Black
Yeah.
Mass.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Matt. Awesome on that. So a lot of people are going there and saying this is a painful reminder of what this guy was a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He was a mobster, and he was he actually turned in arrested a bunch of other mobsters.
Yep.
They don't like him
He
as
was a
well.
turncoat.
And then he wound up getting arrested.
Because the Martin Scorsese movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Matt Damon, The
Departed.
Departed,
Yeah.
was loosely based on
Fantastic.
the Jack Nicholson character was the Whitey Bulger.
Fantastic movies.
Yeah.
Two good movies,
Yeah.
actually, if you think about it. So, I guess this brings it to the question, is it celebrating the history, or are you making a celebrity out of a really bad person? And there's other mobsters that they have as well, but Whitey is really mostly
He's like a
featured.
famous Boston.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I've been to the Mob Museum in Las Vegas, and it's fantastic. It's really cool history. I mean, so it's part of the history
Of Vegas, right?
Of
Yeah.
Vegas. And so if it's part of your culture and it happened there, isn't that something that you're famous for or infamous for? So why wouldn't you want to capitalize on it as a marketing ploy?
I think, and what people are saying is the fact that it's like, look, I'm from the area, and if you support a local business, but this is something I'm trying to forget. And the owner of the restaurant says, well, we want to have a theme. It's not like a mob theme.
Right.
It's like if you go into Olive Garden or wherever, Applebee's or whatever, and then they have this Whitey Bulger pictures everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it isn't like it's not like the museum.
Yeah.
Like you're going to the museum knowing that.
Yeah.
Every restaurant had a picture up of Sinatra, and we all know he was sort of kind of involved.
Very good point.
Well, and there's a famous Mexican restaurant in Los Angeles called El Coyote, and that's
I've
where
been there.
Sharon Tate had her last meal before, of course, she met her demise with the Manson family. So that continues to be a stomping.
Now,
point.
I think what James wants to
James?
say, but we keep on talking about Whitey too much. Is that what it is, James?
Oh, wow.
What's up,
has
Jay?
nothing to do with that. But I would say, as a culture, we glorify gangsters anyway. I mean, how many movies have you seen of Al Capone? We even had back in the day on another platform. We had his niece, who wrote a book about him, who sold thousands of copies of that book about his life. So we glorify gangsters anyway. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Well, here's the thing. But by saying that, and I respect that. But by saying that, it's just saying, well, it's there anyway. Might as well keep on doing it. Well, how about changing that? I'm either way. I'm not going to go to this place.
How many times have you
I
driven
don't want
by
a
a
horse
place
head
that's
in your
got some
bed.
sort of famous connection to it?
There's always something, right?
It's no different.
Sleep with the
Think about
fishes.
that. Would
Yeah.
you go? Let us know. DailyFlashShow.com. We're saying goodbye to a 40-year-old. We'll tell you which one, and it's on TV.
Welcome to Life, Love, Shopping, your life and style guide from A to Z. If you live it, love it, or buy it, we talk about it. We start with M for microplastics today. Microplastics are everywhere. They're in our clothing, our cosmetics, in our food, and in what we drink. And believe it or not, the biggest problem with microplastics is in your bottled water. Researchers found that the average person ingests up to 52,000 microplastics every year. And a common everyday habit could be flooding our bodies with an extra 90,000 of those tiny particles. The culprit? Plastic water bottles. Added exposure happens when particles break down from the inside of the bottle. Squeezing the bottle or even exposing it to heat only accelerates the process. So what about our food? Other than plastic water bottles, seafood has by far the highest number of microplastics. Take a look.
The amount of microplastics in the ocean has been doubling every 6 years, and all that ends up in our seafood, in clams, mussels, crab, very high amounts, and basically in every single fish they find. It's really terrible, and honestly, it's like one of the only things on this list that I don't have an easy swap for. You might just need to cut back on your consumption and try and avoid highly processed fish when you do eat seafood.
Unprocessed sea salt is also on the list compared to traditional American table salt, which has virtually zero microplastics. The AirTag is not the only option for tracking your handbag or wallet. Here's a slimmer, sleeker option, and it can fit right inside a small wallet. The Key Smart Card is Apple compatible, the size of a credit card, and it works with the Find My app on your iPhone. It can also withstand the elements. The maker says it can survive up to an hour in 3 feet of water, and the rechargeable battery can last up to 5 months. The cost, $29.99 for a single or $89.99 for a 3-pack. Spanx, known for their super compressed undergarments, has stepped into the world of clothing. Its latest must-have item, a cashmere sweater. Check this out. Spanx is going luxe with a new line of cashmere sweaters and a new ad campaign starring actress Tracee Ellis Ross. Some of her favorites include a turtleneck, which she says looks monochromatic at first, but features kind of the coolest detail on the sleeve. And she loves the stripes. She pairs them with a winter corduroy wide-leg jean, also by Spanx. Consider these investment pieces as timeless, just one would be a perfect addition to any wardrobe. Well, Philadelphia, the go-to cream cheese brand, is moving into new territory with cream cheese cake and cream cheese frosting. This is amazing. They're rolling out a frozen cheesecake available in 2 flavors, plain and strawberry swirl, just for the holidays. Each cake will come pre-sliced. Think built-in portion control, my friend. No artificial dyes or flavors, and features a traditional graham cracker crust. For the strawberry swirl, they've added hand-drizzled strawberry sauce. And this is fantastic. For the cream cheese frosting, here you go. They've launched their frosting line last year, and now they're adding a new flavor, cinnamon cream cheese. It's the first of many seasonal flavors, with more to hit store shelves during the holiday baking season. According to the brand, they sell more than 50 million pounds of cream cheese between October and December as people prepare their holiday meals and desserts. Well, now that we have desserts covered, let's talk about the calendar. We're less than 10 weeks away from Christmas. Can you believe it? The perfect way to count down the holidays is with an advent calendar. From luxury products to Legos and whiskey, there is a unique option for everyone this year. Let's start with the Best Makeup Calendar. Charlotte Tilbury's Best Beauty Treasure Chest opens the door to 12 days of beauty. The splurge-worthy buy offers some of Tilbury's best sellers in mini and full sizes. Price tag $220 for that one. Next up is the In Good Taste 2025 Wine Advent Calendar. Behind each of the 24 doors is a mini bottle of wine. The selections come from regions as far as Australia and Chile to Argentina and France. Each daily tasting offers a video to help you appreciate the notes, pairings, and backstories. And for the whiskey guy, here you go. It's the Flaviar 24 flights across the world. Each calendar comes with 2 glasses, a passport style tasting booklet, and 24 premium whiskey vials from distilleries around the world. All right, stay with us, more to come. You can also check out our website, llsshow.com, for any information you've seen today.
Something funny is going on, and it's happening every morning on Broadway and Friends, on great radio stations all across the U.S. of A. Broadway, T-Wall, Mitch Pancake English, and Sweet Becca. Broadway and Friends, 4 mics, 0 filters, and more opinions than your Aunt Cheryl's Facebook feed. Broadway and Friends. Want to join the madness? Hit up BroadwayandFriends.com.
Spell out the word
and jump into the deep end, blasting for the back roads to the big leagues. Broadway and Friends. The most fun you can have with your radio on.
October is Menopause Awareness Month. Here's Dr. Alyssa Dweck with what every woman should know.
So first, let's understand what menopause is. It is defined as 12 consecutive months without menstruation, and the average age of menopause in the U.S. is 51 years old. Perimenopause refers to the 2 to 10 years leading up to menopause, where hormone levels are really volatile and symptoms that are disruptive often start to appear. The gold standard treatment would be menopausal hormone therapy. But I find that many people don't want to or are unable to take hormone therapy, and they may turn to other options, including other drug options that require a prescription but that are non-hormonal, and dietary supplements such as those from Bonafide, which have been well studied for safety and efficacy and are easily accessible both online and in multiple target locations throughout the country. Please visit us at hellobonafide.com. We have plenty of medically vetted information regarding menopause, perimenopause, and of course our clinical studies.
All right, and now a mom-approved Halloween. Check this out.
Fall can be a marathon for busy moms.
I recommend a trick-or-treat toolkit to help moms stay feeling fresh. First on my list is Secret Clinical, your all-day shield against sweat odor. And for those who prefer a spray, Native Deodorant Spray is made with only 6 essential ingredients and provides 72-hour odor defense. Now, to keep your skin glowing, I recommend the Olay Micro Sculpting Cream. It energizes your skin cells so you can look and feel younger.
To shop these products, head to this link or QR code.
Now to some trending stories. A Halloween mask-wearing creep terrorized a widow in Virginia as chilling doorbell footage showed the trio of masked Halloween costume people trying to break into their home and threatening to kill everyone inside. Now, when the masked intruders refused to leave, the owner warned them she'd call the police, a threat that failed to scare them off. This is truly terrifying. There are 3 of them all together. The family's doorbell video captured 3 figures, one dressed as Michael Myers from the Halloween movie, another as a clown, and a third as a sinister-looking nun. The trio took turns pounding on the door and demanding entry into the home. When the cops arrived, the trio took off running.
As you can imagine. Okay, now if kids were there, what if like mom and dad wasn't there and the kids were there? And obviously they probably were scoping out the home or whatever. But you saw they actually had, they have 2 doors, and we'll show the video here again.
Yes.
They opened up one of the doors. You can see the guy with the door open and banging on the door. How scary that could be
terrifying.
for the family. And and under the guise of wearing masks, they could do that because I'm not saying it's acceptable, but if you saw somebody walking around with a mask, oh, it's Halloween.
Yes.
But it's way too early to be doing this crap.
Yes.
And you shouldn't be doing it in the first place, right?
Right, and this is terrifying. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it. If that was my doorbell camera, I'd be freaked out if I saw that standing outside.
We screwed up. That's actually the video of me coming in the morning. I'm so sorry. Can we fix that? It's not very far from that, though. All right. I want to tell you this story. You see crappy people like that?
Yes.
Hopefully this will redeem it. You're going to love this.
Flip to that.
And tell your kids about this story. A high school girls basketball team in Oklahoma getting great applause because they returned a trophy after they discovered their win was actually a result of a scoreboard error.
Way.
This is really neat. The Academy of Classical Christian Studies, based in Oklahoma City, they initially celebrated, had a dramatic win during the state tournament. But after the game, they kind of felt a little uneasy about the outcome, so they said, well, let's go home and watch the video. And that's when they discovered a mistake with the scoreboard early in the game. The official score actually would have been in their favor of the other team. And the players, they said, you know what, this is not right that we have this trophy. So they all agreed to appeal their very own victory.
Seriously?
And they wound up handing the title, which this was not just a regular game. This was like a tournament. Yeah. And they gave the trophy away as well. So that to me says they need a trophy for this.
Yes.
I mean, it's really awesome that you see this sort of thing happening. And this is the type of leaders and champions that we need in the world. And I love this, man.
Agreed. But my question is, like, did someone not realize that there was a problem with the scoreboard during the game?
Okay, so usually how this goes is that you have, you're supposed to have an official scoreboard keeper, but sometimes it's just a high school kid pressing a button, right?
Okay.
And then they have somebody on paper and they're writing down everybody's stats. Somewhere along the line, the kid must have done it, and they must have been busy. They looked at and probably didn't pay attention. Could be in 1 point or whatever, and then not even noticing it. Eventually, they realized what the deal was. And I can understand because you're watching the game. You're not, looking at the scoreboard.
Sure.
And again, we're talking about high school. So it's, probably nobody's getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
So no matter what, they did the right thing. They could have kept that trophy forever. Maybe nobody would have been none the wiser except those girls.
Sure.
And so, hey, these are our future WNBA players.
I like it. I like it right there. Well, it used to be you snooze, you lose, right? Well, now Grubhub is looking to change that for college kids. The story's crazy.
All right.
From now through November 1st, the food delivery company is offering sleepy students snooze insurance should they pass out before their food arrives.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding?
On campuses all across the country, students order post-party food orders, in the wee hours of the morning, night, but many can't stay awake to answer the door. Grubhub found that 72% of college students have snoozed through a late-night food delivery order. Now, with snoozer insurance, if you do sleep through a late-night delivery, you'll get the chance to receive $15 toward a do-over meal.
I think this is, it's funny and it's cool. If it's insurance, I mean, obviously, I imagine you have to pay a little bit more for it. But it kind of, I wonder if I can do that, but I can also see you're in college and your schedule after classes is yours, and so you fall asleep or whatever. And if it's chemically induced, probably as well. Talking about drinking, that probably happens more than once. Can I tell you? Before we move on here, I went and did I did Uber Eats yesterday because I work up here, and so I order it, and the guy it tells you where the guy's at, right? And so I go, well, I paid extra for it to get there a little bit earlier, and it says it's parked right here, and he was parked way down here. And I go, well, I put on there what our unit number was and the bang on the door, and I'll come and do it. So I walk all the way down to the end of this thing, right? It tells you what his car is. I go up, and I'm walking on the car. The guy doesn't roll down the window or nothing. I go up to the window. The dude is parked with his car running, sleeping. As my hand to the heavens.
No.
And so I'm like, hey, are you with Uber Eats? He goes, yeah. I go, and like, yeah. And I'm like, well, I ordered food. And he's like, here. And just handed it to me. And what bothers me about this is that you have to tip first.
Yes.
And it angered me so much because we just talked about it that day. So
did you take the tip off?
No, it made me do it, but they was going to charge me an extra $3.50. I didn't know how to do it, so I just said, lesson learned. Hey everybody, welcome back to Daily Flash. Mitch English along with Andrea Jackson.
A writer and young mother slowly slipping into madness. Her agitated and erratic behavior leaves her companion worried and helpless. This is today's must-watch movie, Die, My Love.
She don't like her eggs all runny. She looks down her nose at money. She gets it on like the Easter bunny. She's my baby, I'm her honey. I'm never gonna let her go.
Cheryl mentioned that you're a writer.
I don't do that anymore.
Stuck for inspiration?
I'm stuck between wanting to do something and not wanting to do anything at all. Where are you now?
Is everything all right?
When was the last time we had sex? Rough guess.
Things have been, Where's your book going, by the way?
Main character is about to batter her husband to death with a hammer.
Shut up.
Grace, if you're having a hard time,
I feel fine.
Grace. Grace. Stop it. Don't be nothing but big old hearts dancing in our eyes.
Yeah, this one's gonna be kind of cool. It looks
Martin
like
Scorsese.
Right there, it says it all.
Jennifer Lawrence, who had mentioned in an article recently that she thought she'd never return to Hollywood after getting married.
Jennifer,
and
we
having
need you.
kids.
We need you. I love her.
Robert Pattinson.
It's neat to see him doing that, and then I'm interested to see
Sissy's
what they're.
Basic.
the chemistry is between that entire group. This looks really cool.
Looks good.
A different kind of movie.
Yeah.
We thank you for joining us and spending time with us today here on Daily Flash.
We sure do. And for more information on any of today's stories, be sure to visit our website, dailyflashshow.com.
Y'all take care. We'll see you when we look at you.
Be good,
Bye-bye.
everybody.